Have you ever seen wrongdoing or mismanagement, but haven't been sure what to do about it? Or seen news stories of fraud or waste of government resources and wondered how it was discovered? My name is Susan Ruki Hudson, and I'm the Special Counselor for the Office of Inspector General, or OIG. The OIG provides independent oversight and promotes integrity and accountability in the programs and operations of the U.S. Department of the Interior. Many of our investigations start with information provided by employees, contractors, grantees, or members of the public. I'm here today in the library of the Stuart Lee Udall Interior Building in Washington, D.C., with a few of my OIG colleagues to talk about how individuals can report potential wrongdoing or mismanagement to us and how we handle allegations that we receive. We will also discuss protections provided to whistleblowers against retaliation. Now I'd like to hear from some of my colleagues. Matt, can you introduce yourself and tell us why it's important for individuals who see potential wrongdoing in the Department of the Interior to report it to the OIG?
Hello, my name is Matt Elliott, and I'm the Assistant Inspector General for Investigations for the OIG. That is an excellent question and important for those who are aware of potential wrongdoing to understand. First, would wrongdoing and mismanagement continue unchecked, there are real consequences. Second, it is often the people closest to the inappropriate activity who identify it. They are also the ones most likely to be directly impacted by wrongdoing or mismanagement, but often do not have the authority to stop it. But they are not powerless. They can report it, and whistleblower disclosures play a critical role in keeping our government honest, accountable, and successful at accomplishing its mission. I'll give you an example from one of our recent reports. We received serious safety and health-related allegations from employees and contractors at the Bureau of Land Management Cliffside Helium Enrichment Unit in Amarillo, Texas. The allegations included safety violations, mismanagement of safety incidents, and excessive flaring and venting activities that all pose serious risk of harm to personnel, infrastructure, and the environment. Within several weeks, we had gathered relevant facts and briefed Bureau leadership regarding the allegations and concerns. The Bureau posted a written notice on their website stating that they were shutting down the plant for an extended period to resolve critical safety issues. In addition to the health, safety, and environmental consequences, wrongdoing and mismanagement like this can erode public trust, harm employee morale, and lead to financial losses for the government. Recognizing that whistleblowers identify waste, fraud, and abuse and protect public health and safety, federal laws strongly encourage employees to disclose wrongdoing.
Thanks, Matt. Can you clarify something for us? Who exactly can be a whistleblower?
Whistleblowing refers to anyone who provides information about potential wrongdoing or mismanagement. The OIG accepts information about potential wrongdoing in the Department of the Interior, including contracts and grants, from anyone who has relevant knowledge. But the term whistleblower most often comes into play when a department employee or employees of a contractor or grantee believes they have experienced reprisal as a result of disclosing wrongdoing. My colleague, Tracy Taylor, is our whistleblowing expert and can explain more about potential reprisal and associated protections.
Great, thank you, Matt. Now I'd like to talk to another one of our colleagues. Tracy, can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about whistleblower protections?
Sure, Susan. My name is Tracy Taylor, and I am the Whistleblower Protection Coordinator with the Office of Inspector General. So first, it's important to point out that reprisal can affect federal government employees and employees of federal government contractors, subcontractors, grantees, subgrantees, and personal services contractors. Reprisal means taking or threatening to take a personnel action against an employee because they disclose wrongdoing. Personnel actions can include such things as poor performance review, reassignment, demotion, suspension, or termination. The Whistleblower Protection Act prohibits agencies from taking reprisal. There are laws that also prohibit entities that are doing business with the federal government from taking reprisal. It is worth noting that the Whistleblower Protection Act also prohibits personnel actions against employees for engaging in protected activities, such as filing an appeal, complaint, or grievance, helping someone else file or testify on their behalf, cooperating with or disclosing information to the Office of Special Counsel or an Inspector General, or refusing to obey an unlawful order.
It's great to know that these laws demonstrate a commitment to protecting whistleblowers. But Tracy, what can federal employees or employees of the organizations you just mentioned do if they believe they were retaliated against because of whistleblowing?
Well, employees have several avenues they can pursue. If they are unsure whether to file a complaint, they can reach out to me as the Whistleblower Protection Coordinator by emailing me at whistleblowerprotection@doioig.gov. I can provide information regarding protected activities and disclosures or rights and remedies. I can also provide whistleblower protection training to various entities. The Whistleblower Protection Coordinator may not, however, act as a legal representative, agent, or advocate, but I certainly can explain the rights and remedies against retaliation for protected disclosures. If the employee made a disclosure and felt that that disclosure led to reprisal, then that person can file a complaint through our hotline. The employee can also file a complaint with the Office of Special Counsel, which may seek corrective action if warranted. If the employee is part of a union, they can also file a union grievance. Or if they have been subject to a significant personnel action, they can file an appeal with the Merit Systems Protection Board and assert whistleblower retaliation as a defense.
This is all so helpful. Thank you, Tracy. Our third guest today is here to tell us about filing an allegation of wrongdoing or reprisal. Rainey, could you introduce yourself and tell us how someone might go about filing a complaint with the OIG?
Hi, my name is Rainey Luciano, and I'm the Deputy Ethics Counselor for the OIG. We have a hotline complaint form on our website at www.doioig.gov that individuals can use to report wrongdoing. Anyone can use this form to report potential wrongdoing in the Department of the Interior, not just government employees or employees of federal contractors and grantees.
Rainey, when it comes to filing a complaint, what type of information do you ask for?
Our online hotline form guides the filers through a series of questions to help gather relevant information. We ask the filer to be as thorough as they can to help us determine whether criminal, civil, or administrative violations were potentially committed. Without sufficient and appropriate information, we may be unable to act on an allegation.
I imagine that based on our earlier discussion about reprisal, some individuals may want to know if they are required to provide a name.
Disclosures can be confidential. The Inspector General Act of 1978 prohibits the OIG from disclosing an employee's identity without the employee's consent, unless the OIG determines that disclosure is unavoidable or is otherwise required by law. Complaints can be anonymous, but it is helpful if we can contact the individual with knowledge of potential wrongdoing to gather additional information if necessary.
Thank you. One more question, Rainey. If an individual decides to make a disclosure, what happens next?
Well, Susan, once the complaint has been assessed, we will take one of four actions. First, we may initiate a formal action, which might be in the form of an investigation, special review, inspection, evaluation, or audit. Second, we may determine that the matter is best addressed by the department and refer the information to the appropriate bureau or office for review and action. Third, we may refer the allegation to another federal or state law enforcement agency, including other offices of Inspector General. Finally, we may close the matter without any action. This usually occurs if we have insufficient information to take further action, or if the allegations are not actionable. We maintain the information, however, in the event we receive additional actionable information.
For our last two questions, we're going to turn back to our first guest. Now, Matt, tell us, does the OIG have to coordinate with the department when our investigators are deciding how to handle a complaint?
Absolutely not. The decision about how to handle the information we receive through our hotline is solely at our discretion. The OIG is independent from the department, which in this context means they cannot direct us to conduct, or for that matter, stop us from conducting our work. I cannot stress the importance of this independence enough. It provides reassurance to the public, as well as potential subjects and witnesses, that our sole objective is to uncover the facts. We have no vested interest in the ultimate findings, other than ensuring they are based on sufficient, credible, and comprehensive facts and evidence.
Thanks, Matt. That really is so helpful. One last question. Do you let the individual who filed the hotline complaint know the results of any review you conducted?
If we initiate an OIG action based on a complaint received, the individual who filed the complaint may request information about the outcome by filing a Freedom of Information Act request. Due to Privacy Act concerns, they will not generally be entitled to receive information on disciplinary or adverse action taken against specific individuals involved in an OIG investigation. We also post our public reports on our website at www.doioig.gov.
I want to thank our three guests for taking the time today to discuss the basics of our whistleblower program. I would also like to encourage anyone watching who would like to learn more about whistleblowing or a hotline to visit our website at www.doioig.gov. There's also a list of links with whistleblower information and resources listed in the description of this video. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay connected to all things DOI OIG.